She was asleep in row 13. The gentle hum of the engines had rocked her into slumber after a long and exhausting week. Amelia had been traveling back from a business trip, the kind that left her drained with little energy even to watch a movie on the small screen in front of her. She had slipped her jacket over herself, tucked the airline blanket close to her chin, and drifted off while the cabin bustled with the quiet life of strangers in transit. Her dreams were soft and fleeting, full of fragments from home, until the sound of a chime pierced through the air. Then came the captain's voice, calm, but carrying an unmistakable edge of urgency. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. If there is anyone on board with flight experience, anyone who is a pilot, please make yourself known to the crew immediately." The words seemed to hang in the cabin like smoke. Passengers blinked, lifted their heads, exchanged nervous glances. It wasn't turbulence, it wasn't weather, and it certainly wasn't routine. The unease spread quickly. Someone whispered, "Did he just ask for a pilot on a plane? Isn't the captain supposed to be flying?" Murmurs rippled like waves through the rows, tension thickening the air. Amelia stirred awake, rubbing her eyes, confused by the atmosphere. She sat up straighter, her heart beginning to quicken. Why would the captain make such a call? What could have happened in that cockpit? A flight attendant walked briskly down the aisle, her face pale but her voice steady. "If anyone has piloting experience, please let us know immediately." People looked around hopefully, waiting for someone to rise. No one did. Row 13 suddenly felt like the center of the universe. Amelia's throat went dry. She wasn't just a businesswoman returning home. Years ago, before she gave up that life, she had been a pilot, not commercial, but private. She had logged countless hours in the sky, learned the language of instruments, mastered the discipline of flight. But she hadn't touched a cockpit in nearly a decade. Her hands twitched. Doubt flooded her mind. What if I'm not good enough anymore? What if I freeze? What if people die because of me? Then her thoughts shifted toward the passengers, families, children, the elderly, all depending on someone to step up. And she thought of her little girl waiting at home, the promise she had made to always come back safely. Amelia drew in a shaky breath and whispered, "I can fly." The flight attendant's eyes widened in relief. Within seconds, Amelia was walking up the aisle, every pair of eyes locked on her, silent prayers and fragile hopes resting on her shoulders. The cockpit door opened. The captain was slumped, unconscious from a sudden medical emergency. The first officer was still at the controls, but panic clouded his judgment, his hands darting in frantic motions. He looked at her with shock. "You're a pilot?" Amelia admitted quickly, "Private pilot. It's been years, but I know enough to help." "Tell me what you need." She slid into the captain's chair. The controls had evolved since she last flew, but the fundamentals remained. She placed her hands gently, feeling the hum of the engines, the weight of altitude pressing down. Inside her chest, something long dormant sparked alive. The first officer rattled off procedures. Amelia steadied the course, listening carefully, matching her rhythm to the aircraft's. Air traffic control buzzed over the radio, guiding them. In the back, a nurse among the passengers tended to the unconscious captain. But Amelia's true battle wasn't with the plane, it was inside her. Memories flooded back. Her training days. Her first solo flight. The sky that once felt like home. And the tragedy that made her quit, the small aircraft crash that took her best friend. Fear had silenced her wings for years. But now, fear couldn't be an anchor. She looked at the instruments, steadied her breathing, and reminded herself, "You were born to do this." Minutes passed like hours. The passengers sat in tense silence, unaware of Amelia's private war with doubt. Slowly, confidence returned to her hands. Each correct adjustment, each smooth response to the officer's guidance, reignited her spirit. The runway came into sight, a thin ribbon of salvation stretching through the night. The descent began. The cabin tilted. Heartbeats raced. Amelia's palms were damp, but her eyes sharpened. She adjusted the flaps, aligned the nose, and focused on the lights guiding her home. "You've got this," the first officer whispered. "We've got this." The wheel screeched against the tarmac. A jolt. A roll. Then the sweet slowing rhythm of the aircraft easing safely onto solid ground. Gasps turned into cheers, sobs, and applause. Strangers embraced. A child clapped. Someone cried out, "Thank you, God." Amelia exhaled, tears streaming silently down her face. She had done it. They had landed. As emergency crews rushed forward, Amelia walked back through the cabin. Every face turned toward her, glowing with awe and gratitude. A little girl reached out, touched her hand, and whispered, "You saved us." And in that moment, Amelia understood something she had forgotten: courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving through it when others need you most. She had thought she left flying behind, but destiny had called her back when it mattered most. So remember this: when life tells you you're not ready, not strong enough, not capable anymore, think of Amelia in row 13. Sometimes the world calls on us when we least expect it, not because we're fearless, but because we're exactly who is needed at that moment. And maybe, just maybe, the same is true for you. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that awaken the soul. Because sometimes, one story can change the way we see our own lives forever.